Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. So now let's talk about silver premiums, the most frustrating thing for the everyday silver stacker. Premiums have been through the roof. I mean, it makes sense. Silver is scarce. Low supply, high demand pushes the price up. Maybe not spot price because spot price is manipulated. It's suppressed. But the price you got to pay out of pocket, the premium, is going to keep rising. Now, what is a premium? I'm sure all of you know, but there might be a few people in here that are very, very new. Premium is the amount over spot. So if spot price is $20, but you have to pay $24 for that ounce, that's a $4 premium. Now, this is an article talking about silver premiums explained. Insider shares knowledge. I have a very good idea of what causes premiums and why they've been up, and even specifically different mints. But I do want to go over this insider's knowledge that he's sharing. So the link will be in the description. This is a very complex topic. There's a lot of conspiracy around premiums. Some people blamed it on Wall Street Silver in early 2021. But I think regardless of that subreddit, premiums would still be through the roof. But with that said, make sure that if you like the video, you please like the video. Leave a comment what you think about premiums. We're seeing record high premiums. Some sites like SD Bullion having up to 71% premiums on coins like Eagles. That is insane. You want to be able to lower your dollar per ounce average. Unfortunately, anyone who started stacking silver in the last 3 years, their dollar per ounce average is a lot higher because they've been paying, 50, 60, 70% premiums since the get-go, where someone like me who's been buying silver since 2014, 2015, we really didn't see crazy premiums until just a couple of years ago. So anyways, links in the description. With that said, let's talk silver. Are you keeping an eye on silver premiums these days? Sure, it is pretty much always cost more than spot price to buy silver in the retail market, but it seems like the silver premium is up more these days than even just a few years ago. And yes, it started just a few years ago around the global situation happening. But even if the situation globally didn't happen, that did spark it since there were so many borders, boundaries, that were cut off. But also mining production slowed down because countries like Mexico and Peru that accumulate nearly half of the global silver supply, they got hit hard by the global situation. And even when things came back, there was safety precautions, minimal workers, everything just fell apart. Plus, we're getting deep enough into the supply deficit where demand is booming and it's just getting harder to find silver. Silver's a byproduct. Then you have demand booming, not only just industrially, but also the investment sector. Then you have mints coming out and saying they have a hard time finding silver plants. You can just see how it makes sense that premiums are going to rise. So, let's define what a premium is in this context. The premium on a silver product is the amount of money above spot price. So, for example, if the price of silver is $20 per ounce and a 1 ounce silver bar costs $24, that's a $4 premium. The premium can also be expressed as 20% over spot. That's only 20% over spot, right? A $4 premium. Remember when I said Eagles have 71% premiums on sites like SD Bullion? That is very, very scary. That means that person, if they sell anytime soon, they're not even going to break even. You know, most silver stackers don't even break even because they end up selling themselves short. And when you're starting off paying, like your first ounce ever bought is already a 50, 60% premium over spot, then to resell that, unless you're going to rip someone's head off and basically scam them, you're not going to make a single penny. You're going to lose money. But that's why you don't sell anytime soon. I'm not planning on selling for 15, 20 years if I even sell at all. So I don't got to worry about that because I can guarantee the dollar will be much lower if it even lasts that long, but also silver will be much higher. Some premiums have been much higher than this example lately. And like I said, every type of silver, as even coin, have different premiums. Eagles have higher premiums than maples, and generics have lower premiums, and bars have their premiums. Junk silver has their own premium. So it's not like there's just one set premium or from one set place. You also have to remember that premiums go up and down, but given what I've seen, given what I know, premiums aren't going to slow down anytime soon. A lot of people just think, oh, this will blow over soon, and you'll be able to buy Eagles again for, 30% premiums, yada yada. That is not the case, especially with the US Mint. Some premiums have much higher than this example lately. What is going on? What does it cost more to buy, or why does it cost more to buy silver coins, rounds, bars today? The price increases aren't really uniform across the board, and the answer to this situation isn't necessarily all that simple. But as a bullion observer and someone who has been involved in the numismatic world since 1992, I have some perspective to offer that I hope you'll find useful. Now, I'm really curious for the points he makes, because it is a much more complex answer, especially when you're going around determining the premiums from Eagles compared to generics, right? There's a big difference. Some of these mints have their own situations that other mints don't have, and there's reasons why Eagles have such a high premium and generics don't have a 71% premium. So it's safe to say that silver's really enjoyed a flurry of attention in recent times, at least since the spring of 2020, when this global situation rocked the world and the economy as we knew it came to a grinding standstill for a few months. Many people with stakes in the stock market panicked, began moving their money into alternative investments. Some turned to the real estate, which was on fire across most of the US in the beginning of the summer of 2020, held fast for 2 years. Others turned to crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, others. Then there were millions who turned to traditional safe haven investments, bullion. Silver and gold in particular saw monumental performance in the months that followed this global situation. But remember something. March of 2022, silver was $11 while gold was its all-time high. Gold broke past $2,000, the highest price it's ever been still, to this day. Gold broke past $2,000 while silver was $11. The lowest price silver's been in decades, while the highest price gold's been ever. That's something to think about. That's when the gold to silver ratio was 126 to 1. But let's put a little context to this. That record price for gold occurred during the tense weeks right after Russia's president declared war on his neighboring country. Concerns of impending nuclear war were at its highest in years, and fears over grain and oil shortage cast a pall over investment futures. Meanwhile, inflation was hitting its worst numbers since the stagflationary early 1980s. Now, this is when everything started. It's 2020. 2020 is when it all started. And remember, right before the global situation, we had Iran tensions, Saudi Arabian oil fields getting bombed, the US-China trade wars. Remember that? Nobody remembers that, because right after, or actually, during the US-China trade negotiations, during Saudi Arabia and the Iran tensions, right then is when the pandemic hit, and nobody focused on that anymore. Well, that was already starting to have an effect on gold and silver, but 2020, silver hit $11. Did you know in 2020 silver was the best performing asset in 2020? Outperformed gold, outperformed Bitcoin. Silver was the number one. It went from $11 to nearly $30. Early 2021, when the Wall Street silver movement started, it was up to $30. That is also when premiums took an even farther explosive move to the upside. So we have a couple different situations happening back to back where silver's wanted by everyone, everywhere, for everything, but nobody's selling it. It's a byproduct. It's very scarce. Most silver's thrown away, and there's none, right? 2020 U.S. Mint came out and said there's a silver shortage. Well, it was 2021. In 2020, the U.S. Mint ran out of silver. made a 1 million mintage emergency supply at the end of the year from the San Francisco Mint. In 2021, they came out, said there's a silver shortage. Perth Mint came out, said there's a silver shortage. Also, the Royal Mint did. So now people are finding out that mints are having a hard time finding silver planchets. So now people are even more panicky. And since mints are realizing that they're having a harder time, they have to raise premiums because they don't have as much. And how are they? I mean, if they don't, why in a business, if you have less and less of your stock and there's a higher and higher demand, you have to raise the price up. Low supply, high demand pushes the price up. That's investing 101. It's like one of the first things you learn in investing. Eventually, gold prices softened and have remained unsettled ever since. Meanwhile, silver became a darling. And we knew this would happen because the gold to silver ratio at 125 to 1 means that gold extremely outperformed silver. That means that gold was 125 times more valuable than silver. But that ratio was the highest we've ever seen it. We'll read about that ratio in history. It's usually around 70 to 1. Used to be 2.5 to 1, 2.5 parts silver equals 1 part gold, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Then it was 8 to 1, because that's the ratio it comes out of the ground. Then it was 16 to 1 until 1930. FDR got in office, changed it from 16 to 1 to 75 to 1. Regardless of 1930 and all that, when that ratio changed, it's usually around 60, 70 to 1. But 125 to 1 is out of whack. Had to correct back down. And if the ratio goes back down from 125 back down to 90, 80, 70, that means silver's outperforming gold. Because as the ratio goes lower, that means silver is outperforming gold. If the ratio goes higher, that means that gold is outperforming silver. And we knew at 125 to 1, it would go back down at some point. Meaning we knew silver would start outperforming gold soon when we saw the ratio that high. While gold's at $2,000 and silver's at $11. And yes, that exact thing happened. Silver started extremely outperforming gold, being the number one performing asset of 2020, and gold kind of stayed the same, didn't do much. Now, it's less expensive, thus more accessible to more investors, plus silver has added an advantage of being a widely used industrial metal. It is also harbored by preppers, survivalists who believe silver has trading potential, and should the monetary system as we know it collapse, silver coinage and monetized silver provides future benefits, including its backing by governments and numismatic collectability. Silver's held the attention of human mankind for at least 5,000 years. Been a lot longer than that. But now conditions in current marketplace are driving premiums to new highs. Now, the current silver marketplace. Why silver premiums skyrocketed? We've set the scene. Investors have put a lot of money into crypto, real estate, and other investments during some very tenuous times. Certainly the most nerve-wracking socioeconomic situations of this country or this century, and easily the most dire since the global economic troubles of the 1970s era. So what's happening over the last several months, though? Real estate is rapidly cooling off. Crypto is proving it's not the fail-safe juggernaut many thought it was. Meanwhile, precious metals are showing, as they usually do, that they usually weather economic storms more soundly than many other investments. And that's why it's called a safe haven. People are learning now, if they didn't during the worst years of the Great Recession a decade ago, that the housing prices don't always just go up. We're also discovering just how fragile the crypto world really is. This is now obvious with the failure of FTX. And by the way, anyone who lost money in FTX, you weren't listening to me. Did you know that Coinbase banned me? Coinbase banned me because a couple months ago I made a video talking about how Coinbase potentially will be going bankrupt, and if you leave your money on there, you're going to lose it. So I taught people how to send their crypto to a cold wallet where it's stored offline safely. You are in complete control. Nobody can touch it. Nobody can hack it because it's in an offline wallet. And when I said don't keep it on Coinbase is dangerous, Coinbase banned me. I can't make a Coinbase account. Well, the same thing happened to FTX. FTX is just like Coinbase. You keep your money, your crypto on FTX, and they shut down or they go offline, your crypto's gone. So you have to send it to an offline wallet. But nobody did that. And I've been talking about this since 2016. how to send your money to X or your crypto to Exodus from Coinbase. I had one of the first biggest videos of teaching people. It was called Bitcoin for Beginners. Taught people how to buy crypto on Coinbase and then send it to an Exodus wallet. But they obviously shut that video down as well because I was exposing the the seriousness and danger of keeping your money on these exchanges. And those exchanges don't want that. They want you to keep your crypto on there. But anyways, just a little story about that FTX stuff and how I've been trying to protect my viewers for a long time, especially since I'm sure a lot of you do have Bitcoin. Anyways, though, meanwhile, silver and other bullion products show themselves to be real assets. They can physically be held, traded in person or person to person, and are virtually anonymous. Unless one is trading huge amounts of bullion at a single time, they can generally buy and sell silver and other forms of bullion without an identifiable paper trail. This realization by many that silver is truly a safe haven asset, one that is easily traded and performs well during rapid inflation and other economic hardships, has led many to redirect their investment funds to silver. The increased demand has thus pushed silver premiums to higher levels, right? Low supply, high demand. While this is the case throughout silver industry, it seems to be especially pronounced or on monetized silver coins more so than silver rounds and bars. And yeah, it makes sense. Monetized silver coins, that's never heard it called that. That's really funny. Monetized silver coins, that's just a coin. A round is a round, a coin is a coin. A round is not legal tender. A coin is. Your maples, your pandas, your eagles, your, everything, your Britannias, your koalas even. Those are all coins because they are money. You could literally sell that or spend that, right? An eagle is worth $1. Maple leaf is $5. Um, that's legal tender. But a sunshine mint round, you can't spend that anywhere. That's not made by the U.S. Mint that can be spent as currency. So I guess it is monetized silver. I just never heard it called that. It's just a silver coin. And coins, yes, have higher premiums. I mean, it is government backed. It's probably, I would rather go with a coin than a round. So it does make sense. Plus, these mints are announcing that they're having a hard time finding silver planchets. When I know a lot of mints, like Sunshine Mint, has a pretty large pile. They actually sell to a lot of these other mints. But regardless, though, it makes sense that coins would have a higher premium. They're just nicer. They're more trusted. It's legal tender. It's government backed. Ultimately, investors enjoy the built-in protections that mint coin it's so fun. Mint coin bullion offers. Silver coins that are produced by world governments such as the United States, Royal Canadian Mint, Perth Mint, other sovereign coining facilities have seen the most pronounced price increase. And this is literally what I was just saying. I should have read the because I just explained what he's explaining. Additionally, the monetized value of these coins means that even in worst case scenarios, silver prices were to plummet near zero. Who says it can't happen? Then their products are still worth at least the face value, right? Because they're still worth an eagle is still worth $1. A maple leaf is still worth $5. In other words, their investment dollars will never completely vanish. The same can't be said for those who invest in stocks, cryptocurrency, and even real estate. So, what do you do when premiums are so high? In my opinion, you try to find the stuff that has the lowest premium. I used to recommend Eagles. Now I don't recommend Eagles. I recommend 10-ounce bars, kilo bars, generic rounds, right? The Buffaloes. Right? I've been buying a lot of kilo bars. I've been buying a lot of tubes of Buffaloes. I have been buying Eagles as well. I have been buying the 2023 Pandas. I have been buying ounces of gold because that's what I want to do. But if you're just someone who's focusing on weight, which I recommend beginners do, then just go with that type of stuff. Kilo bars, 10-ounce bars, generic rounds. If you're a bullion investor who is dejected by the climbing price of silver premiums, there are solutions that will make it more affordable to invest into silver. One of the most popular is purchasing bars and rounds while they don't have a high premium, right? And those are some of the stuff I just said. So that's basically it. It was a good article. I'm glad that they didn't go too much into I'm glad they didn't go too much into the controversial side of premiums, because when you're talking about the U.S. mint versus other mints and why the Eagles premiums are so high, you can get in some very very debatable and controversial waters. And I'm glad he didn't go into that. I'm glad he just kind of talked generally, universally over this, because that's what he should have done for an article like that, just talking about premiums. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I post daily videos. If you want to purchase some of that shiny silver stuff or gold stuff, send an email to info@milesfranklin. The email's in the bottom left-hand corner. Send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Silver Slayer sent you. Ask for their inventory list, the price list. They got the best deals. Great company, very respected. Andy Sheckman is the CEO. I'm sure you've seen him on my channel or somewhere. He's one of the top dogs, and they will make sure you are set. Very, very beneficial, because if anything goes wrong with shipping or even the packaging or the coins themselves, he will make it right. Where if you buy from somewhere like this, you don't know. They don't care about you. That you're just a random name. If you buy with Andy, you personally get to build a connection, especially repeating it, building a business relationship over the next several years. Plus, dealers or these sites are having a harder and harder time finding silver. Andy still has very good connects. He's still one of the only authorized dealers that works with the U.S. Mint, so that can be very, very beneficial itself. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.